All right. Hey, everybody. Welcome to this week's video. It's going to hopefully be a short one, this video for design 2 or 3D design, introducing the final sculpture, final project for our major project or unit on line in space, or line and shape in space. It's just kind of introducing line as a sculptural element. And it's really to help you transition from drawing, which you mostly do with line, into sculpting with line. And we do this with the wire and bamboo that you should have already practiced with last week and done some orthographic drawing of a rock and then some practice sculpting. So this week you have already turned those in, and you're gonna take what you learned by doing the bamboo or wire sculpture and turn it into your final, which I'm about to introduce you to. So here we go. Try not to dawdle this time. Okay, so here we go. Here's the final. So let me go ahead and get it playing. So yeah, it's major project / unit 1 in this case, the final project line. Just a reminder, like we practiced last week, we are just, like I said, kind of moving into the beginning of our elements of art as they apply to 3D. We learned in the slides and videos from last week for the practice work about how line works in space. It's just a point moving through space, instead of across a piece of paper this time, it's through space, interacting with you, coming towards you or away from you, not just, side to side, up and down. But in any case, it can be used to develop form and mass, which is what we call, something that exists in the world with us. It has actual, shape. All 3 dimensions lives with us. Sometimes form is used in 2D art too, or form and mass, creating that illusion of depth. But when we work in 3D, we're actually creating it. And you can use the line of the wire or bamboo or whatever you're using to sculpt to create a sense of 3-dimensionality, right? To actually create or at least mass, it's definitely 3-dimensional, but creating a sense of depth. Remember, our goal here as we move into 2D design is to work in the round. So it's not just taking wire, which is, in and of itself, it's 3D, it lives in the world with us, and not just drawing with it, because you can make a flat sculpture of wire and it's like sort of 3D, but that's not what we're looking for because it's not in the round. In the round means it has actual thickness and shape from multiple views. We can move around it and actually see shape. So that's what we're practicing, and the core of it in this unit as we get rolling is line. Okay. So you can use line, as you saw on the last slide, and here you can use line to represent the real world. This is also low key for our quiz, giving you a few ways to break down how imagery works in creating art. But you can represent the real world, which is called representational. You can take the real world and change it, which is what we call abstract. Abstract is taken from the real world but altered. Or you can even make a line sculpture that is totally non-representational, like this image on the right, totally not related to anything in the real world other than itself. It's not representing things versus, like the apple sculpture here really looks like a line sculpture of an apple. The horse is sort of, artistic. It looks like a horse, but it's altered. So it is abstract. And then of course we have the object on the right, which is totally just a cool lines, much like the ones here on the left. Cool. Okay, so just to throw out an artist for you to know, Alexander Calder, he's kind of the impetus for this sculpture, the inspiration for this sculpture. He does these wire sculptures that are really, he's known for creating really cool contour line drawings, and the wire sculpture or the bamboo sculpture, it's inspired by this, and he uses wire to basically create like contour drawings in life, like in real space with us. And actually something to note here too is that he makes a lot of these, they actually move and they have actions and activity that they do, and here Alexander Calder's mobiles. These are just almost like wind chimes or something that they move. They're active, and you can see, these uh, wire sculptures he made actual images, but with these, they're like more okay. Remember, though, I've already gone over this, but remember, we are working here to sculpt in the round. These things are in space with us. Look at this, this room made of all like sticks. Looks like bamboo skewers mostly too. You can see the joints; they're pretty short. Although these are bendable, whatever they are. But in any case, yeah, you can see, you could walk around, you can interact with these almost like they are solid desks and pieces of furniture. This bamboo skewer teapot or coffee pot here, this espresso coffee pot, all made so that if you move around them, they actually still have mass and form. They're not just one thickness of bamboo skewer. Okay, so talking about what you're actually going to make for this final, you will sculpt one of the following three options out of either wire or bamboo skewers. Okay, you will sculpt a hand interacting with an object or a foot interacting with an object. On those two, think about like it could be something you're holding, something you're kicking, something like a shoe that you're going to put on, or a sock that the foot would have about to be put on. I don't know, but essentially just think about an object that you could make interact, and it's really the mass and size of the hand or foot, but the object just adds a little extra bit. And I do that because your third option, if you choose to do this, is a bust or portrait of your face or your head. I shouldn't say your face because you want your whole head. And just so you know, a bust is like shoulders up. And that's really a great way to do this, is to do a full bust so that the shoulders can act like almost a stand. You can make a really simple set of shoulders out of wire or bamboo up the whole head. That, again, remember, as you turn sideways, just like our heads in real life, you should have full size. And that's a little bit trickier to do than a hand or foot. So that's why you don't have to add an object or anything. It's just a little more complex. But yeah, remember, you don't want it to just be a flat drawing of your face. You want it to be wide. So those are the wire examples that my students have made. And these are some bamboo examples. I don't really love this picture on the right, but it is a good example of a bust made of bamboo skewer. The options are the same whether you do bamboo or wire, but although this foot here doesn't interact with an object, you should plan to interact with an object. The level of detail you want is kind of up to you, but I would go for an interesting and artistic level of detail. Even on the wire ones, you can see like this, the face on the left may not have quite as much detail as the hand, but it's got an artistic quality to the eyes and the mouth, the way things interact. Keep in mind, everything's going to have to connect back to itself. You can't have floating parts, just like the rock. Yeah, all of that. So think about it, make a plan. Okay, and so what you're going to do from there. Oh, some tips first. Well, and actually what you're going to do first, it mentions it here, is you're going to sketch at least two angles of the sculpture that you plan to make. So the hand and thing, the foot and thing, or your bust / portrait. That is due by the end of this week. Check online for the exact date. I think at the time of recording this, I've actually extended it a little because we're having like not excellent weather, and it's messed up my internet access and stuff. So you may have a little longer, depending on if this is another semester or not. Any case, check online for the exact due date. But yes, you need to sketch two full views. I guess the two views can be on one piece of sketchbook paper, but make sure it's significant enough you really get an idea for how you're going to make things in the round. Okay, because it must be in the round, as point number 2 makes. It's three-dimensional, not just a flat sculpture of bamboo or wire. It should look different at different angles. That's what this big X over here are the things not to do. And you can see this wire sculpture of a face. While it's kind of neat looking, it's totally flat. It's not nearly finished enough either, but it is, yeah, it's totally flat. It's just laying on the table. And so it does not work here. The hand sculpture here with wire looks awesome. It's a really great shape and things, but again, probably you turn this sideways, it's just going to be one wire thick. So that is not what we are looking for in this case. So yeah, make sure it has in the roundedness. Use pliers to make the joints of wire or hot glue for bamboo. You still need it to be clean, needs to be strong and clean. It says that a little further down. Now here, it must be at least life size. Okay, so it's a head or hand. So you're going to want to make this fairly large because again, you know, creating curves with bamboo is tough to do if it's not large. Creating joints with the wire is tough if it's not large. So you need to make this big. It should be at least life size and probably bigger. Yeah, like I said here, curved sections are hard with the straight bamboo if it's too small, and the wire doesn't bend very easy if it's too small. Now you need to be sure you make the joints, whether wire or plier, you need to make them strong. They need to be strong and they should not collapse when you move it around. So if you pick it up, it shouldn't just fall in on itself. You're going to have to make a video, which I'll tell you how to do next week. I think I'm going to try a video turn-in platform, but you're going to need to make this video to show it to all of us, because I'm hoping we can use a video platform that we can all see. But in any case, these joints also need to be clean, unscarred, and not too gluey as much as possible. Do your best on that. I know without a lot of experience, it's hard to keep these things super clean, but you need to do as much as you can. And then last point here, it's the last one of these images you just should not do, is just make a big bundle of stuff, bundle of wire or a bundle of bamboo, just wrapping it up so tight that it's like this solid mass of wire. I don't want to see that. It usually comes out pretty uninteresting. It defeats the purpose of thinking of it like drawing. It's not like it doesn't have its place or that it couldn't be cool, but it's just not what we're looking for in this project. So it should have positive and negative spaces, meaning, you know, not only will the form, you know, if you make a hand, there's going to be the negative space around the fingers, but also, you know, work with, because it's just a cool way of thinking, like leaving, you know, how that space is going to look inside. When you look through this side, you're going to see through the other side when it's made of wire or bamboo. And how does that look interesting, and how does that play in your piece? You know, you need to have the thickness of the hand or foot or whatever, and that'll leave some space, but how can you make that interesting? Okay, so dates and turn-ins. The sketch of at least 2 views, as I've already said, it will be the last practice project for Unit 1, which remember is like 10 points of your overall grade for the semester, is all the practice ones. And then the actual final will be 10 points as well. But it'll be the last practice prep grade for the unit on line and line and space and all that stuff. So think about a full set of orthographic drawings. I know I only said you have to do 2 angles. Make sure that those sketches, let me go ahead and say this, it says it on the assignment on Canvas, but make sure you're really thinking just like with those orthographic drawings. It's contour lines, it's the shape, it's the depth, all with just line. Think of it like your tool is the wire, just like you did with the orthographic drawings. And while I only asked for 2, think about doing all 6 orthographic views if possible. That's kind of tough to do with a foot, but think about it. Yeah, turn in the sketch. It says the end of this week, but just look online for the exact date. Create, then after you do the sketch, you're going to start and turn in the 2 photos and a short video. The 2 photos for sure will go on the Canvas turn-in, and you may put the video there too, but I may have a different platform for the video. But that's kind of up to you. We may have to use that for crit stuff. Anyway, but be on the lookout for on the exact ways to turn in. I'll update you on that during next week, because you have 2 full weeks to work on this. So the second week, I'm giving you the info now on how to start it. The second week, I'll give you the info on how to turn it in. But it's, yeah, you have this week, next week, and part of another. So it's kind of a little over 2 weeks, but in any case, that includes crit and stuff too. We will, yeah, discuss turn-in methods next week, and we'll probably also have a progress check, maybe an email or something next week after I give you the info on how to turn it in. We'll also go over crit and reflection in the last week, the 3rd week from now or whatever, that when this is finished in 2 weeks, and it's the week you're turning it in, I'll give you info on how to do the crit and reflection. But remember, have some fun, whatever you do. If you're watching this recording the same semester that I'm recording it, you know, I know you're probably snowed in right now, so have a good time. Don't make it flat. I'm saying it one more time. Okay. And that is all for that. I appreciate you guys. Just go check out the Canvas to get exact due dates and how to turn in stuff, or where it's going to be turned in, and I'll give you the how to turn in next week. Okay, appreciate you guys. Send me messages, and yeah, have a good time.